So I'm gonna be down in the basement for most of this, letting him play. That's where his toys are. Um, but I wanted to kind of talk to you guys while I do this. Uh, People have been making comments. I've seen other videos with our gang trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And all I can say is, I'm in the laundry room making sure he doesn't have any toys in here. All I can say is, I'm of the mind that all this stuff happening at once, Hidalgo going, losing his shit on Luke's reappearance. Hey, Dave. Then we have then we have the High Republic crashing and burning. That's Kojak with his pirate chicken. I have to watch how I'm walking here. Let's see what else. We've got High Republic crashing and burning. We've got authors and TV hosts basically being exposed for being the racist, sexist, irrational bigots that they are. And it's, get this open. And then we have Gina, and the feeling around the fandom is, go on. Yeah, he gets to go out without me. I'm not going out there. The wind picked up, and it's really kind of cold. Anyway, the feeling around the fandom is they've been wanting the story group, the Kennedy faction at Lucasfilm hate Gina. They wanted to get rid of her for a while, and this was what was considered the last straw. All right, here's Pirate Chicken. This Pirate Chicken. There's Kojak. Pirate Chicken. Kojak. All right. So when she posted that thing with the Holocaust message, it wasn't really a Holocaust message. It was a comment on the behavior of the politically correct social justice warriors that, let me grab this. Hey, dingbat. All right, now he's got his soccer ball, so he won't be having to hear squeaky chicken, pirate chicken. So they used the pretext of that meme she posted on Instagram to fire her. Now we have, this is literally almost my favorite thing USA Today has ever done. Now, when I worked in DC, he really likes pirate chicken. I gotta get that thing away from him. When I worked in DC, I knew a guy who was a reporter for USA Today. He was a libertarian, and he even called his workplace McPaper. Okay, USA Today is not a paper of record. I don't know what it is. I would get it just because the sports page was really good when I was interested in football. But now it's crap. They, it appears, took a Skype meeting between a Raylo, I can't remember her first name, her last name is Wilson, from Twitter. Okay. Pirate Chicken is going up. No, don't you jump on, get down. No, go get your ball. But that's it. I can't talk to you guys and fight over Pirate Chicken. But this chick named Wilson, she's a notorious Raylo, all over Twitter. She Skypes with Ryan Johnson, and he of course immediately says, "Oh, my trilogy's in development." He knows it's not in development. Why is he lying to this girl? Hey, karate. Yep, pirate chicken. why is he writing? Why is he saying this to her? And then he was like, got into the whole Raylo. Oh, I wanted it to be romantic and intimate. And so, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. When you watch Nerdronymous' video about what really went on, he followed JJ's story, hook, line, and sinker. They didn't have any Raylo in it. The Raylo shit was actually at the end, the reshoots and Tross. It's just, it's remarkable how incompetently made the sequel trilogy is. But the fact of the matter is, there's at least a very small faction of people, the Raylos mostly, who like this shit. There's the question. Do they buy the merchandise? Do they go to the movies over and over and over again? No, they don't. Raylos are, I've talked about it before, there's a psychiatric condition called erotomania. And they're fixated on Adam Driver. I don't know why. I'm literally, there's absolutely nothing attractive about him at all. And they're fixated on him to the point where, they won't, they bully everybody else. They bully each other. And it's fascinating to me. I know it was. Yeah, Angelique, you're right. You're totally right. That's exactly what it was. But you have to understand, these women got their rocks off reading 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight. Okay, he's back. Can you sit? And his abs, the shirtless scene, literally, I'm talking about a theory I have. Maze is in the house. The shirtless scene is literally, I can't, you guys, I can't drop that. Get that out of your mouth. Get that out of your mouth. Thank you. The shirtless scene just grosses me out. I come from the world of, looking at Brad Pitt's abs, and when I was younger and studying in Germany, there was an magazine interview with, hey, it's Mike, my friend Mike Alonzo, Clobbering Times. How are ya? Yes, it was. It just, but there's an interview magazine with Keanu Reeves, and it was, I think it was the centerfold of him standing with his back to the camera, black and white, naked. God. Now, he's not my crush, but still, when I think about a fine-looking man, I don't think about Adam Driver or his abs. I think about that. I think about if I, want to look at a beautiful male body, I think of Brad Pitt. But I don't reduce those guys to that. I don't, you know, I like Keanu better than Pitt. Keanu is a grown up. He stays out of politics. He, I really thinks about what makes the audience happy, what makes people want to go see the movies and all the rest of that stuff. And to me, that is everything. But when I was watching, the movie Witness, Harrison Ford, there's a couple of scenes where I was like, and I still am like that. He's just, but I'm going to tell you boys something. You guys don't have to get naked for a girl to get hot for you. That's shocking, isn't it? We're not visual. Well, we hear, we listen. We like nice eyes, big hands, broad shoulders. But, and, a nice male chest, well built, is a nice thing to look at, but it's not the only thing, and that's not what turns us on. Trust me, if you're sending dick pics to girls, they're not liking that. All right, that's not how girls think at all. Okay, so I gotta call him back here. I can't see him right now. Okay, ding dong, get back here. Come on. What are you doing? You know, he wanted to get out. I thought I'd bring him in. Now he's just being a dipshit. And now he's chasing his tail. He has all these toys and he'd rather chase his tail. We have officially gotten into crazy puppyhood. Anyway, you know, girls are just that way. You know, I don't think Disney knows what the hell to do right now. If you guys aren't subscribed to Valiant Renegade, you should be. You know, they you know, I think they were caught flat-footed. I don't think they understood what their what they bought. When you go into the real timeline in history, like Tom Connors at Midnight's Edge did a great video on the people versus Bob Iger, because ultimately it's his fault. He let this happen. He didn't care anything about the franchise or the story as long as they were making money. The moment it stopped making money, the moment he saw that the customers, the fans, were horrified by TLJ, and now it's looking like TFA is starting to get trashed. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about. In fact, Maze and I were talking about him. I kind of feel bad for him, dude. What could he do to fix that? I mean, he's a nice kid, but you know, Iger didn't know what he was getting, and now he's screwed. My thing is, they didn't know that this was actually going to be announced. I personally think Gina knew this was going to happen. The fact that she found out like we did on the internet, I'm still disgusted with the incompetence and lack of professionalism that they showed. You know, I just had somebody on Instagram, this dumb fuck millennial, go, "Do you know what she did?" And I said, "Yes, I know that she spoke her mind, and she used an event in the past to kind of make an analogy to people like you, and you didn't like it." You know, I went off on the kid. First off, I said this in my earlier stream. We are allowed to talk about any historical event we want. Okay? We can talk about everything and anything from, you know, the conquering of Gaul by Caesar, Julius Caesar, to the both diasporas the Romans committed in Palestine, spreading the Jews all over Europe. You want to know how the Jews got to Europe? Blame the Romans for that. And the reason why is because the Jews rebelled, and the Romans were like, "Okay, we're done. We're done." And they took charge, and they moved the vast majority of Jews out of Palestine. And you know, it's not, and I'm gonna say this, it wasn't the first time that happened. If you read, if you look at Jewish history and you look at Babylon, they were moved out of Judea and the Galilee and all the in that area by the Babylonians, and then they were allowed to come back. So this is an ongoing thing with them, but it's not just them. Okay, there have been genocides, there have been mass murders, there have been massacres all through human history. I'm sure there are mass murders and genocides back 10,000 years ago that we don't know about, that we'll never know about. Okay, the reason simply is this: before the ideas of countries being our nations being about laws, not men. The idea of the other, the fact that tribalism they like to use, but to me, it's less tribalism and more. He's playing with his football now, and then he untied my shoe. It's more. Here he is. See, here he is. There he is. It has more to do with dehumanizing your enemy. Yeah, the Canaanite genocide. There have been genocides all through history, all through time, and not just the Jews. It's been everybody. The idea that you can't talk about the Holocaust or use it as an example and a lesson from history is bullshit. Ask my friend Saran, ask my friend Jim Robbins, ask Ben Shapiro, who said he didn't like it, but I'd also know that he understands why she did it. When you've got one of my favorite authors, Vince Flynn, God bless his soul, said when the terrorists said they were going to try to bring down America, he believed them. When you hear, yes, the Rwandan genocide, the Armenian genocide, when you've got lawyers for PBS saying they wanted to take children away from their parents to deprogram them away from MAGA, being patriots, actually loving their country, when you've got, AOC wanting to have lists of people who supported Donald Trump so they could do what the idiots in Venezuela did and make it so you can't bank, you can't have a job, you are literally going to die of starvation. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, Mace. She was trying to warn us about history repeating itself. I mean, if anybody thinks Hugo Chavez, what he did in Venezuela was, I gotta get him. Stop doing that. I'm gonna have to shock him or get him with his, with the, I said, no, don't do that anymore. He jumped away and was like, oh, okay. Chase that. Hugo Chavez, well, I don't understand why it's overwrought. I don't think it is. I mean, you know, do we still weep for the Gauls? Do we still weep for the Germans? Do we still weep for the Irish seaside villages that the Vikings ransacked, massacred, and pillaged? No, happened over 1,000 years ago. Happened 2,000 years ago. The long lens of history kinds of puts a distance between you and that. I have talked to Holocaust survivors. I have, seen the tattoos on their arms. I don't. I mean, he's basically waving the flag of I'm a Jew and yada yada. Meanwhile, my other Jewish friends are like, it's a fine analogy. Go with it, because they understand it. They know. They are very. They understand it, and they get why it's not about their special instance. And I'm sorry to say this, but in the 250,000 years that Homo sapiens has existed, and the 10,000 years of written history, the Jews are special, but they're not that special when it comes to mass murder and a collaborative effort of a government and of another people to try to destroy them. All right, the people of the United States, Native Americans. Now I have a different way of looking at that. You look at the Irish. Do they still whine about Oliver Cromwell? Of course not. So I don't have a problem with it, and I get offended that you get censored from talking about actual history. And you're right. Pocket's right. They don't like to talk about World War II and the Holocaust and all the. I mean, you want to talk about war crimes? The Bataan Death March, the rape of Nanking, the what happened to the Chinese people? Oh, I lived in Korea. Do you think the Koreans forgot what the Japanese did to them? No, no, they didn't. They haven't forgotten. They hate each other. They hate each other. The Japanese called Korea, the entire peninsula, north and south parts, Manchuria. And they treated the people of Korea like shit. They took Korean women and basically put them into brothels for their troops. The Khmer Rouge, yeah, you're right, Eastland. They did all kinds of things like that. And then we can talk about their concentration camps, their prisoner of war camps, what they did to the Filipino people. I mean, it is accurate because if it's exactly what AOC, that lawyer for PBS, and others have said, what they want to do to the rest of us, because we don't agree with them politically. And to me, you know, to me, that is bullshit. And what it is it's censoring them from the truth. Because, look, they can't deny that they're behaving if they're smart enough to understand it. They can't deny that they're behaving like Yahtzees, because they are. So let's go back to what's going on. All this stuff, and then you got Ryan Johnson in this USA Today article, this McDonald's McPaper, written by a crappy journalist. And I'm like, Disney's having a very, very, very bad week right now. They're not having a good week at all. First off, I when it comes out, we will eventually know what happened. What happened to facilitate this. Just a second, I gotta tie my shoe. We know what happened. We know Kojak, get out of my face. No. We know what happened. We know we're gonna know what happened. We're gonna know how it happened. We're gonna find out that Iger and Chapek were like, yeah, and you didn't tell us. The only truly valuable property that they have right now is go on, go play. He thinks I'm going with him, and I'm wearing my leather jacket, and it's too cold. I don't have my boots on. The really only valuable property that they have for their streaming service is The Mandalorian. And that's a fact. That is an absolute, that's a fact. And she was the most popular character on The Mandalorian. To me, if they really wanted to get rid of her, they would have done it a long time ago. If they really, really, really wanted to. And they didn't. It happened at night. She wasn't told. And, when I think about it, was she fired? She says fired. Or was she, told they're not going to sign her to another contract? I know they're thinking about making a show based on her, and I think it was probably Rangers of the New Republic. The idea of Lucy Lawless, who's, how old is she, in her 50s? Playing Cara Dune is just, go on, go, is absolutely ridiculous. It really, really is. I mean, I can't imagine her playing that role. And, this dog doesn't know what he wants to do. He's, I want him to get some fresh air and a run. And he's just a shit right now. Anyway, but, They're Disney's stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I think, and this is my point, all of this crap is leading to what, if y'all remember, getting your way back machine a few months ago, we're there, Doomcock saying, and an old friend of mine said the same thing, that Kennedy told Chapek or Iger, one or the other, that if this nonsense continued, she would burn it all down on her way out. Fast forward to now. They've just hired somebody named Momita Singh Gupta. What is she doing? She's doing Kennedy's job. Hi, Pocket. She's doing Kennedy's job. What is going on? It feels to me, and this is just my feeling, and I'm always wrong on this stuff because Disney never hesitates to fuck up when they should not be fucked up. It just feels like it's scorched earth on the way out the door. It really, really feels like that. Eastland, honestly, when I look at their financials, Disney's not going away. They're hurting right now, but it's 4 years from now, if the incompetent leadership is still going on, yeah, then they're in trouble. Continuing that they sell Lucasfilm. No, they're not, because Ann Mays is right. They could have been. You could have. It is? Okay. All right. They could have gone and understood that it's a fairy tale and run with it, but they didn't. And that is just the problem that they're having now. That is the problem that they're having now. And Iger happily gave Kennedy the carte blanche to do whatever she wanted, and she fucked up. Well, here's the deal. If you are Gina, and I'm going to say 6 months from now when all this calms down, and we see it all happening, and Disney says, we want you back as Cara Dune, do you come back? These would be my worries. Who's in charge of Lucasfilm? Who's running marketing? Who's running PR? Who's doing all this? Who's doing all that stuff? And who's going to be stabbing me in the back? Those are the questions. The fans would love it, but in some ways, if they asked her to come back and said none of this bully stuff will happen again, I'd say no if I was her, just because. Now I'm going to tell you something else. I predict in 6 months, Twitter will still be around, but its influence will be dead. If they go to pay per tweet, the people with the bots are going to be screwed. How do they get fire Gina Carano trending? Some asshole with 100 bots starts it, and they all keep tweeting it, and I gotta call him back. Okay, I can see him. Okay. Don't you go walking back there, because I can't see you, and I'm not going outside. Here he comes. Yep. All right. Come on, get in here. Get your furry butt in here. Come on, grab your football, go play. All right. It's literally, Twitter's gonna die. Those people can't can't do what they've been doing. I mean, I'm telling you, if I was having a good time on Twitter, I wouldn't I wouldn't be happy with that. I'm not going to pay for a subscription to Twitter. I think you're right. I think oh, what, Maze, what? I think the Lando isn't going to be made. I don't think Acolyte's ever going to see the light of day. I don't think, oh God, what was the other? Rogue Squadron. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I, you know, I don't really, this is going to be very interesting coming up. And I think, yes, that's exactly right. The hiring of Mohsen Gupta was very, 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 I gotta let him out again. He's just being a shit right now. Get, don't you jump up on there. You wanna go out? All right, go. Okay, we're going back upstairs. My husband comes home he's coming home, and if he comes home, he's doing an ammo check. Come on, upstairs, come on. I'm gonna put the idiot in his kennel up here. Now, if he starts barking at me, I blame you guys. Okay, you guys all get blamed for that. Everything has been so hush hush. It's one of those things where you're looking at Disney saying, "Why do you guys run your company like that? You know, why can't you be honest?" And all right, come here, buddy. Come here. You're okay. Come here. Sit. Good boy. All right, house. Come on. Good boy. I'm back in my kitchen. You know, I really think that they need to do more transparency. And no, there was no comment. There was no. I. I don't. Why would that be a tactic to save her job? Why? See, to me, that is illogical. Now, maybe, well, she's an idiot, so, who knows? But that is, to me, is just. You see where I'm coming from? I'm like, does that make any sense? No, to me, it doesn't. I look at it as a tactic. I look at it as lashing out. Okay, it can't be a tactic to save her job if the Bobs didn't know about it. If the Bobs were caught flat-footed. Disney not saying a word says a lot. Just like when Disney didn't say anything about Mohsen Gupta being hired. There wasn't any sort of fanfare, if you know what I mean. It's all, everything is very not transparent, clear as mud. I can't see how you can run a company like that. I don't know what you guys think, but that's what I think. Like I said, what I think is going on right now is they are going in to sabotage scorched earth mode. There really wasn't. I mean, we saw it, but there was more news about Michelle Redgwan, and she's just basically faded into the woodwork. Carrie Beck, Kennedy's little acolyte, she faded into the woodwork, but she's working for Dave Filoni. And I think depending on where they are is how much can they get away with stuff. And if she's working with Filoni, ultimately she's working with Favreau. It's really, I think this is scorched earth. From Hidalgo's attack on Star Wars Theory to their lashing out, calling everybody racists after the crash and burn of the High Republic, to the firing of Gina Carano, and then to add insult to injury, Ryan Johnson in USA Today, which is like, oh, if you want to send him a message on Instagram, please do. You can, and ask him, how come Disney's never mentioned your trilogy? When are they going to mention it? Because I did. It's really time for this incompetence, this consistent, constant nagging, attacking the fans stops. Okay? It has to stop. It's not good for Disney. It's not good for Lucasfilm, and you really can't. All right. Well, that doesn't sound like Disney. It sounds more like Lucasfilm. They've got their cliques. They've got their mean girls. They got all this shit going on. And I mean, Cameron Pasha even said he has liberal friends who couldn't work there because they're not woke enough. Well, Dr. Aphra being canceled, I mean, that had to kill the people who like that comic. I thought it was garbage. I thought it was, I thought about doing a fanfic where she ends up on Tatooine hiding out from the Republic because they're looking for her to bring her in for war crimes, and Boba Fett gets wind of it and sends word to a friend of Solo's who Han and Leia have got the kids, plural, on a trip somewhere. They're out of pocket. Lando finds out. Han gets back. Lando tells Han, Boba would bring her in, but he thought better of it. He thought, since what happened to you in Cloud City is one of her big crimes, that he'd leave it up to you. You decide what you want to do. Han goes and takes care of the problem. Then we get to see real equality, because we get to see a woman end up the same way a man who would have done the same thing would end up. Then we can see all the little SJWs scream misogyny, right? Or in racism too, because apparently Afra's Asian. I think that would be hilarious. So maybe I'll write it. It'll be Western, it'll be cool. She's hiding out, and she thinks, she's made contact with Fett, thinks, he's gonna leave me alone. She doesn't realize that he sold her out, and that he and Solo have made their peace. So they don't like each other, but they're mutual. They respect each other. I think that'd be a great one. I think that would be awesome. And she ends up dead, and Fett gets to take her in, what's left of her, for the bounty. All right. End. All right. I think that would be fantastic. I think I should do that. Anyway, Alpha sucked. All their SJW shit is getting canceled. Like I said, the shows I think that won't happen are Acolyte, Lando, the Rogue Squadron one, which Patty Jenkins, her of the pear-shaped ass. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I don't know how they're going to do that because Jenkins basically, in my mind, would be persona non grata. I wouldn't let her near Star Wars if Jesus Christ himself told me I had to, on pain of losing my soul. I'd be like, no, 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 hell, no, 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 in every language I could think of saying it. I'm not worried about Obi-Wan. And the reason simply is this. It looks to me like Iger himself is taking care of that. Oh, thank you. I love my jacket. I got this at Kohl's, and it's warm. It's been, it's not that it's been cold, but it's windy and it's wet outside. It's a wet cold, so it's really like, ugh, I don't like it. I'm more of a dry cold person, so we're supposed to get another snowstorm on Thursday or something. I don't know, but anyway, it's really, but about Obi-Wan, I'm not worried about Obi-Wan. I'm not as much as I am about what happens next. I'm worried about, are we actually going to see the sequel trilogy retconned? Now here's the deal. Part of their lashing out could be because it's coming. It's already coming. That everything that they put together, their sequel trilogy, all that is gone. And I mean, if you work inside Lucasfilm, you're Matt Martin, who should be fired. You're Pablo Hidalgo, if he's still there or not, and I think he still is. You're there, you know what's coming down the road, and you have got to be pissed off. Or you don't. And they're not telling you anything, which scares the shit out of you. Hence the lashing out. Okay? That's what Pablo did. Okay? Lashed out. But this all looks like scorched earth to me. Well, not even retcon. I mean, just it's in an alternate universe and we're never going back there. You know, it's June. QE is Q2, quarter two will be that one. This was quarter one. And it was bad. And let me tell you this, quarter two may be worse because then the loss of subscriptions will happen. Here's the deal. They don't have a whole lot new coming up. They weren't prepared to open up Disney Plus with any new programming except for The Mandalorian. Oh, yeah, if they go alternate universe, they never have to visit it again, though. Think about that. I'd be happy with that. I'd be doing a dance, a happy dance. Just as long as I don't have to see Adam Driver's ugly mug, okay? Or Daisy Ridley's. That, whatever face that is. I would absolutely, that would be great. June layoffs, I don't think so. I think it's gone past. We'll keep them around till then and then fire them. I think now it has to happen. I think the damage they've done to The Mandalorian is bad. Is really bad. Pablo attacking Luke Skywalker. The High Republic coming out and landing like an anvil, falling from the sky. Justina Ireland lashing out. Kevin Scott lashing out. Daniel Jose Older. And, that bitch, Christina Ariel lashing out, making racist comments. And instead of ignoring it or telling them, you need to delete these tweets because they're pissing off the customers. And, the Star Wars social media person says, we stand with them. And, you know, this is a big deal. So that happened. And then going after, going after Gina Carano was Kennedy lashing out. Scorched earth. It just feels like they're trying to sabotage the Mandalorian because, again, if I can't have it, no one can. Okay? What they don't realize is that their jobs depend on it. What these writers don't realize is that their contracts depend on Star Wars being a success, books being sold, comics being sold, etc., etc. They don't think money matters. Money floats in and out of their lives like snow. It's nothing they have to actually, earn. They don't understand they're creating a product people either want or don't want. Right now, no one wants it. The only thing we do want is Mandalorian. That's what they want. I want them to, I don't want anything integrated. Okay? Listen to me. No fucking sequel trilogy, any of that shit. It didn't happen. First off, they wasted the original characters. They trashed their characters, ran Han and Luke through the mud, turned Leia into fucking Hillary Clinton. All right? No, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know it's there. If I was put in charge of Lucasfilm right now, I would go to Bob Iger and say, I'm going to fire a bunch of people. And I'm going to bring in people who love Star Wars, who are fans, to write, to put together with John and Dave a cohesive, coherent narrative. Okay, we have the EU. We're going to take stuff from the EU. We're going to create stuff from the EU that's going to be our own. No. Okay, no. We've talked about that. Ahsoka being saved by Ezra probably is the first part of the retcon. Okay, think about it. Filoni already put that in there. Well, but the stockholders don't. See, I don't understand this. I don't understand if you're the head investment guy for Goldman Sachs and you see the fact that you're not getting that $189 stock for Disney, you're not getting anything for it, and you know that stock is inflated, wouldn't you be a little pissed? Wouldn't you be a little upset? Wouldn't you be just a little bit angry? I know I would be. But they don't say anything. You never see them say anything. They never, now you hear afterwards they were miffed and they were asking questions, but they don't ever ask when they should, which is, hey Bob, whichever. You want to tell me what this shit is with Gina Carano? Since she was part of the biggest moneymaker you have, and one of the reasons why people wanted this streaming service. And Iger. What's it going to say? I didn't know they were doing that. I didn't, and that's what he would say. I didn't, because I don't think he did. I don't think he saw it coming. Kennedy has bamboozled him twice now. Okay? Was what? I can't remember the first time, but this is the second time. She threatened to burn it down behind her as she's walking out the door. And getting rid of Gina is a good way to sabotage The Mandalorian. I'm worried about Favreau. I don't want him to leave. If he leaves, Star Wars really is dead. They can't find anybody to replace him. They can't. I'd replace him. That's what I would do. I would go in there and say, I'll do it. And then I'd have a very long conference with Kathleen Kennedy. She wouldn't like anything I had to say to her. Oh, it's not, it's an open secret in Hollywood. People do talk about it behind closed doors that Kennedy's done. It's true. I mean, she doesn't know what she's doing. Why wouldn't he stay? I mean, guys gotta quit it. Okay, don't be negative here. I don't need that right now. No one does. I do worry about him leaving. Why wouldn't he stay? Eastland, why wouldn't he? He's a creator of The Mandalorian. It's won Emmys. It's won accolades. I can see him being entirely pissed off at Kennedy. The rumor is when Gina was getting bullied on Twitter that she told her castmates, don't come in to defend me, because they'll go after you then too. There's a rumor that Pedro Pascal is thinking about leaving. Now, if Pedro Pascal was to leave, I'm sorry, I wouldn't care. Okay? Now, Disney needs to use the EU. They should have been using the EU. You guys, don't look at Disney that way, okay? They didn't know what they bought. Their problem is they were ignorant of the property. Their problem is Iger looked at Kennedy and said, you're doing such a great job, run with it. And then by the time he got back and started paying attention, it was too late. And now he doesn't know what to do. Yeah, I think he'll stay and wait it out because I think Kennedy's on her way out. And I think, Cameron said, and this is wishful thinking, and he said it was wishful thinking on Echo Base, that it's not out of the realm of possibility for Kennedy to be offered a to retire early. Get out of here now. Again, why, when James Mangold is writing the script for Indy 5 and Harrison Ford is the one overseeing the script, and you've still got Spielberg hovering over as executive producer, and if that's going on, that George Lucas is also involved, but they're not saying anything. Does Kennedy need to be president of Lucasfilm in order to produce a fucking movie for Lucasfilm? She doesn't. A lot of people are freaking out. Well, if she leaves, she's still blah blah. Who cares? Who cares? She's not president of Lucasfilm anymore. Ultimately, she can't decide on what Star Wars becomes anymore. And that's the bottom line. So you can sit and whine like a bitch about, well, just because she's good doesn't mean, it doesn't matter. Remember how good Indiana Jones' Last Crusade was? Remember how good Jurassic Park was? That's because the other people were actually the ones making that. She's a disaster. She's incompetent. I can't even describe it. I've said this a long time ago, but I know women who, quote unquote, created their own businesses. But when you peel back the onion, when you look behind the curtain, the person that was running the business and doing all the stuff was the husband, was a man, not the woman. That, my friends, is Kathleen frickin' Kennedy. Ooh, we need more likes. That is Kathleen Kennedy, okay? To a nutshell. She, stood on her husband's back, on shoulders, Lucas's, Spielberg's, Eastwood's, Milius's, and, she never did any of that by herself. Now we've got her by herself, and she can't do anything. She doesn't know how to. She doesn't know how to. Okay? And that's the thing about Kathleen Kennedy. She doesn't know how to A, stay away from the creative process, B, how to let, she doesn't know how to get along with men, even though she's married. She doesn't know how to do any of this. You know, I don't think I'd let her get my cup of coffee in the morning. I don't know, just I'll do it myself. You know, please. You know, it's staggering the incompetence that is tolerated by Disney. I think that's the thing. It's staggering to me. They're letting the scorched earth thing happen. And that's what it is, in my opinion. It's scorched earth. That's what it looks like. Gina didn't know it was going to happen. The Bobs didn't know. Disney's caught flat-footed the night before the investors meeting. And, you know, to me, if you're a lefty and you don't like billionaires, Pablo, and all that stuff, it's obvious then. But anyway, guys, I gotta go. I have been on for almost an hour again, so I'll catch you guys later. See you around and behave. You know, this is just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. Anyway, talk to y'all later.